Every year, the Royal Institute of British Architects holds a competition to find Britain's best new house. And after the success of last year's televised event, I'm giddily excited to say that House of the Year is back with even more of these exceptional homes. We'll be taking you behind normally closed doors. Oh, ow! It's too small, that door. To see some of the most original and mind-boggling houses in the running for this competition, all of which have won the hearts and minds of the judges. A large, black, charcoal-textured box. We'll be looking at the long list before we discover the shortlisted homes and then finally the winner of this great architectural prize. Beam me up, Scotty. It's very zen. And then, at the end of the series, we'll be finding out here on Channel 4 which one of the homes is the RIBA House of the Year for 2016. These homes are truly remarkable. Each one is an example. We can take inspiration from all of them. So, come inside and have a good nosy around. Throughout this series, I'll be exploring houses that I've grouped into some loose categories to show where new architecture is heading. We'll be seeing houses that are small but exquisitely beautiful. It's so satisfying, isn't it? And houses that make the most of a challenging site. There is a view of a house.
There is a view of a house.
Do you see it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Clever. Joining me to investigate them are architectural designer Damien Burrows.
There's no protecting modesty, is there?
And architect Zach Munro.
Wow, that's quite unbelievable. What an incredible view.
This episode looks at houses that are architectural testbeds, houses that push the boundaries, inventing solutions for living with flair and creativity. What we should never underestimate is the degree to which any new idea is a risk. Any new design that's worth its salt has never existed before. Any new house is experimental. It's its own prototype. And when the architect designs a house for him or herself, they redefine themselves as uber-design guinea pigs. As land becomes less available in our cities, architects are increasingly being challenged to experiment with new ways of reclaiming previously inaccessible sites. Now, looking at these very, very densely packed streets in South London, I mean, they're typical of any city, of course, you wouldn't think it possible that you could cram in any more housing. But there is always somewhere, usually around the back. So this house is part of a subversive movement in building where architects find little scraps of land, little garages, unused plots, gardens even to build on. This is backland architecture. This house made the RIBA House of the Year long list as an almost military covert operation in architecture. It digs underground to maximize space and camouflages itself with mirrors to reflect back its surroundings. With only 128 square meters of floor space, the aptly named Covert House has an upside-down layout. On top, there's a kitchen, dining and living area which opens out onto the garden. Running around two sides is a light trough, which illuminates the basement where all three bedrooms have south-facing windows. Behind them, there's a living area and two bathrooms. Hello. How are you? How are you both? Yeah. Good to see you both. Deborah and David, known as DSDHA, are not only the architects, they also live here with their two children. It doesn't do that conventional glamorous thing that everybody wants, which is all a bit too polished.
Yeah, it's not a gallery space, it's earthy.
The idea here is that you actually
can feel how the building was crafted. So it's not just one of these kind of CGI experiences.
They bought this period house, which they then sold, keeping its overgrown garden to develop for themselves.
It took us 4 years and an appeal, very slow, rather painful process given the number of 23 neighbours that we've got here.
Yeah.
I think most people are just worried about change. It's actually not only just neighbours who are sensitive here in Clapham, it's a conservation area, it's a sort of historic district.
The permission included strict height and boundary constraints, so there was only one way to go to get a family-sized house.
It's gone down about 5 metres altogether. We had to dig, and make an upside-down house. Almost gone back to Georgian trick. They had houses with basements, and you go up a few steps to the entrance, and that's to let that extra light come in.
In such a small house, space and storage both have to double up. Every fixture seems to be multifunctional.
So this is practical storage.
Oh, yeah,
but it's also a light, and it's also a window, so you can get sunshine coming through.
So it transmits and also glows. It does all of these things.
So the idea is that when the children are downstairs and they want to make their noise and have fun, we can close this door, be very quiet.
Well, I like that sucking noise it makes. This is not catalogue stuff. This is...
No, this is made in Peckham by our fantastic metal workers.
Love it. As far as possible, everything is sustainable and locally sourced. The wood lining the walls of this bathroom is sycamore felled in the old, overgrown garden. Even marital harmony was taken into account in the design process.
As architects, we always try and minimise the number of materials we use, don't we? So that life comes to the fore, kind of architecture goes to the background. So we minimised it here to just concrete, white and glass.
Yeah, I mean, obviously that's going to reduce arguments, isn't it? If you've made already a set of rules, you know, you can't deviate too far from that with anything.
Ooh. Come on down.
Very elegant, very elegant. It's like a Georgian staircase, this. It all winds at the last minute. And with a beautiful handrail too. Unlike the average staircase, it's hugely glazed to illuminate down here.
We didn't want it to feel like you were going into a basement. It's more into a lower living space. Yeah. And we designed it as well that when you sit on the sofa, you can see nature from at least 3 angles and sky, so that you're always visually connected with the garden.
You know, all I can see is trees. It's beautiful. One bedroom here, facing onto the little terrace there. 2 kids, 4 of you. Where do you sleep?
Just through here.
Through the wall of storage. Yes.
So away from
There's a large room in here.
And also a working space.
So this goes out underneath the terrace to bring the extra roof light down.
Ah. There is one thing you just can't get away from in this house. The material it's constructed in. Concrete. And with such a difficult site access, it was particularly tricky to build with.
On the day when they were pouring in the height of summer, the first lorry came and they pumped it in all the way from the road. The lorry was delayed. And you can see that, oh dear, the concrete is just about to solidify. And just in time, the next load came and then the next. You get this landscape of the first pour showing itself, which we love.
It is.
Yeah, and you can trace that around different parts of the house.
Oh, I see it there. It's amazing, yes, to think that you can,
you can actually
read the actual timeline of the building. Lots of chamfers on the reveals on the inside. What's that about?
We wanted to maximise the amount of light we had down on this lower floor. But also, when you're in the space, we wanted to maximise the view out. So we came to this idea that if we chamfered the edge of the concrete, we'd actually allow more view than if we'd used a traditional square edge.
If this house stops at nothing on the inside to provide the highest quality light, space and delight, then its external skin works just as hard to soften its edges with ambiguous reflections.
It's having that belief that you should be able to build more in cities in Britain.
Okay.
The sort of folly of these huge territories going uninhabited. So I suppose it's audacity to say, we think this should happen.
Ordinarily, when an architect builds their own home, they use it as a test bed for bringing all kinds of disparate ideas together. Whereas actually, this is almost the opposite. This is the distilled summation of a lifetime's work. A shining exemplar, a new prototype for a new kind of backlands architecture. Deborah and David have done all the hard work so that the rest of us don't have to. The next of our 5 experimental houses is, well, straight out of Wallace and Gromit.
That's going to wake you up in the morning.
So, a friend of mine, an architect, says to all his clients, I'm going to make one mistake on this project and you're going to pay for it. Which sounds objectionable, doesn't it? But it isn't, because no building is worth its salt unless it pushes at some kind of boundary and experiments a little. With experimentation, there is, of course, an increased risk of failure, but there is also an increased risk of joy. Our next house is one of the most surprising in this year's competition, not least because it's been built in the heart of one of the architectural treasures of the UK, the historic centre of Edinburgh. Damien Burrows went to have a look.
Edinburgh's New Town has the largest concentration of Georgian architecture anywhere in Europe, which means it's the last place I'd expect to find a piece of dynamic, contemporary architecture. But that is exactly what I've come to see.
On a plot only 6 metres by 11, the size of a small one-bedroom flat, an astonishing 165 square metres of living space have been conjured over 8 interconnecting levels. In the basement, there's a utility room and the first of 3 bedrooms, with a second bedroom on the ground floor alongside the garage. The study is just above street level at the back. And then on the first floor, there are interlocking levels of living, dining and kitchen areas with a garden terrace alongside. And at the very top is the master bedroom. It took Richard Murphy, the architect and owner, 9 years to realise this dream.
Hello. Richard, how are you?
Hi, good, good.
Ah, fantastic. It's
has
very
an effect
warm
straight
feeling
away.
here with all of the timber.
There's a lot of timber. Well, come on up. Usually when I show people, I let them go first, because 1 in 10 people walk straight into this mirror.
Oh, wow. I mean, that is fantastic. It's a great little device, isn't it? It really opens up the space, but it's huge as well. Oh, Richard, it's a great space, but it's quite dark up here.
Well, this is the wintertime mode, and what interests me a lot about domestic architecture is how it can change from winter to summer, because we're, particularly in Scotland, obviously, there is a big difference in daylight. So there's shutters everywhere. If you want to have a go, they just slide.
Oh, fantastic.
And then the big one is here.
Oh, wow. That's a game changer, isn't it, when that opens? All of a sudden, you've gone from that space that was a little bit dark to one of the most open houses I think I've stepped into. And there's more.
All the major windows have insulated shutters that slide or pivot, allowing the glass to generate heat when open, but keeping the house warm and cosy when closed.
Great.
Voila.
That's a really lovely space.
The RIBA judges were most impressed by just how much Richard squeezed into such a small plot. 3 bedrooms, bathrooms, an office, garage, utility, and even a delightful outdoor terrace. All that, as well as the shutters, sliding doors, and glazing, makes for a house that's extremely complex.
There must have been easier ways to do this. Why did you go to so much trouble?
Curtains, which I've never liked anyway, are not really very solid, and you want to have a real cocoon in the wintertime, and that's what's achieved by all these mechanisms of things moving. And also, it's a piece of fun as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
Outside, the tiny courtyard is a tribute to Richard's hero, Italian architect Carlo Scarpa, who designed this garden in Venice. Richard has reproduced a miniature version on his little terrace here in Edinburgh.
I virtually live there in the summer. I love it. And it makes all the difference to the house.
Over the years, Richard has had the opportunity to develop his ideas on previous small-scale projects. But it's clear that in this quirky project, he's pulled out all the stops.
Has this been the opportunity to bring all of that experimentation together?
Absolutely. I mean, yeah, you do experiment on yourself, a bit like a sort of scientist in the 19th century, I suppose. There are some things you would do for yourself which you wouldn't dare do for a client, you know, just in case they went wrong, I suppose.
But here, at the heart of his home, is an idea that would work in any open-plan design.
If you have a sort of typical living room, dining room, kitchen, the problem is if you've got people for dinner or something, you end up looking at the sort of detritus of the chaos of cooking, certainly in my case. I will show you what I mean by going up to the kitchen. You stay where you are. This is quite a nice sort of commander position here, I think, actually.
But you're absolutely right. I can't see what your hands are doing at all.
No.
All the mess.
Even the bookcase forms a carefully designed piece in this complex puzzle box of a house.
And this links to the openings in the stonework on the outside, on the corner of the building?
Yeah.
The exterior, with those clever little gaps to allow light through the bookcase, is clad in ashlar stone, a clear reference to the Georgian buildings alongside. The dramatic stepped roof, like an armadillo's back, was designed to respect the neighbouring flat's right to light, but it's also perfectly orientated for 8 solar panels. The house has excellent green credentials, with a ground source heat pump and rock heat store, electronic ventilation and rainwater harvesting systems. Right at the top of the house is the master bedroom, home to all kinds of gizmos.
What happens is when I wake up in the morning, this is what happens. So
That's going to wake you up in the morning, though, isn't
yeah,
it?
it's a little bit noisy, but I quite often lie in bed with the thing open and look at the stars. But there's also lots of other eccentric parts to this particular room.
More?
Oh yes, there's more, there's more. I wanted a disappearing corner, but I didn't want a window here. I thought it'd be quite fun to have a piece of wall which opens up, and then this one pivots like that.
Comes all the way around.
Through 90 degrees.
So the whole corner of the entire house just moves away.
Yep.
It's decadent and it's luxurious, but it feels fantastic. It's great having a little bench here to be able to sit and enjoy it.
The bench is not a bench, because what is also on display here is a bath. So you can fall out of bed on a Saturday morning into the bath.
Into the bath.
Have an alfresco bath.
May I step in?
If you wish to, yes.
There's a... There's no protecting modesty, is there, when you...
Well, yeah, I've learned the lesson. You
here.
need to close the shutters first.
You do.
Before you get out of the bath.
But when you are down here, you can just see the tops of the chimneys and the roofs. It's very calming.
Yeah, exactly.
This house has been a 9-year odyssey, a quest to raise finance and then gain planning permission. It started when Richard was approached to design a yoga studio on this overgrown plot. Instead, he bought it himself, realising that the ugly, unfinished wall at the end of the neighbouring terrace was never meant to be exposed. There was an opportunity to properly bookend the street with something highly personal. But back in July 2012, when work on the house started, it didn't go down at all well with the neighbours.
People were horrified. It was described as everything from public toilets to garage. But then, as it started to evolve, people started to see where the benefits were in rescuing what was a disused plot and making something beautiful on it.
And their new neighbour is about as gregarious as they come.
Every time you go out, Richard is there sort of saying, you know, come and join me in the house. It's just always full of people. It really, really is an open door, which is lovely because it's like he's sharing his house with the community.
Around every corner and up every stair, there is a new surprise in this beautiful, complex treasure chest of a house.
I wrote a piece that this house was a quarter Scarpa, a quarter Soane, a quarter energy house, and referring to all the crazy moving shutters and slightly mad mechanical devices, a quarter Wallace and Gromit.
This learned hybrid house is an ingenious and playful nest constructed in the heart of Edinburgh by a wise old owl.
What makes this house so special is the way in which it borrows from its historical context, whilst unashamedly remaining modern. It conjures up light and space from its small site, and it does it with an absolute sense of fun and adventure.
So we've seen two extremely inspiring experimental houses. There are 3 more to go in this programme before we find out which ones have made it to the shortlist. Coming up, an extension with a Japanese personality. The bath drains straight onto the floor. And a modern house in a traditional Cumbrian town.
Look at this. It's all about the view, isn't it?
Buildings are not mass-produced objects like spoons. I mean, spoons are the same forever, whereas buildings adapt over time with the people who commission and use them with their context too. The next contender is a beautiful example of a home that has been adapted, stepping into the future while also embracing the past. Extensions. What stays, what goes? Do you keep the old, or do you begin again entirely from scratch? Or maybe there are ways architects can experiment to allow the old and the new to coexist, producing something far more memorable. So what have they done to this small detached house on the end of a terrace in South London? It's clear the front has been given a careful facelift, but the main entrance seems to be round the back. Oh, wow! It's like a building with 2 facades. That's very different. Here, a family of 4 on a tight budget wanted to extend their 2 up, 2 down by adding a 3rd bedroom upstairs and a more open-plan layout downstairs. But instead of tearing down the old lean-to on the back, it's been creatively embedded within the new facade, keeping a trace of the building's history within its very fabric. The extension includes an enlarged kitchen, a dining area, a downstairs bathroom, and upstairs, a master bedroom. A central void drops down between the old and the new halves of the house to allow light into the heart of the building. Hello, pleased to meet you.
Nice to see you.
The family employed architect Taro Tsuruta. This is a shoes-off
Yes,
Japanese house.
Yes.
Yeah?
Thank you very much.
Are the owners Japanese?
Yes.
They are?
Yes, my friends.
Called the House of Trace, the RIBA judges really liked the inventive and exciting way this place melds the traditional British terrace with modern Japanese thought. Wherever the old and new meet, the join has been emphasised rather than hidden, not just on the facade, but also within in the central light well. Even repaired structural faults like this crack are celebrated. Trace of crack, trace of building, hence the trace house.
And then house had memory, which is we keep in this extension. So this house is called the House of Trace. So we kind of like celebrating rather than sort of hidden. This is bathroom.
Downstairs bathroom. The bathroom, too, is unusually kitted out. Am I imagining? No. The bath drains straight onto the floor.
Yes, this is the open joint drainage. So we have a tanking blade underneath.
Okay.
And then there is a drainage gutter.
This lovely elephant tap on the bath that drains straight onto the floor was designed by Taro out of utilitarian copper piping.
Actually, copper is ages and then patinates. So you can see the passage of time. My client want to recognize, time is passes as is. So this is part of this memory idea.
Okay. Everywhere I look, Taro has made clever use of low-cost, easily available materials. Rather than an expensive stone floor, you just laid concrete garden tiles down.
£2.50 per each.
The idea of keeping a note of the building's history extends to every fixture. Even the part numbers used in the building process are on view.
We kept the other trace.
Trace of the process that made it, which is nice.
Yeah, and also this was necessary for a builder to recognize which piece which goes.
Of course, yeah.
And I use all Eastern European. They didn't speak English, so it was necessary,
All the furniture, including the kitchen cabinets, has been designed and cut in plywood by Taro in a process known as CNC routing. CNC standing for computer numerically controlled. CNC is normally associated with cheap, mass-produced furniture, but here it's been used to make bespoke items for a really very crafted home. Taro designs his tailored furniture on his computer and just emails the flat pack layouts to the factory. They then program the CNC machine to cut the pieces. The accuracy is extraordinary, to within 0.1 of a millimetre, and Taro can expect delivery within a week of sending in his designs. So it's quick and it's cheap, yet still beautiful and bespoke.
Taro's really embraced the software to make very elaborate structures from CNC. So, pretty advanced kits that he's making.
In House of Trace, even the staircase has been made using CNC processes, and since he can, Taro's included little cartoon manga characters.
Oh, just that one? Yeah.
Another one.
Another manga character up here.
But there are also great architectural moments in this building. The central light well, for example, which offers sightlines through the house and brings light to the central kitchen. And everywhere, there are these reminders of the house's history.
So I can understand why your clients here would be interested in memory, but do they matter to you, these ideas?
Yes, my mother became Alzheimer, and actually memory can be lost.
Yeah. So what you're saying is that actually, if we build entirely new and we erase constantly, we're sort of creating a collective urban Alzheimer's.
Yeah.
In the bedroom, in the extension, there are more surprises.
The ceiling's joyful because it suggests we're in a sort of South London industrial extension, a kind of 19th century workshop.
Even the bed has been given Taro's special treatment.
What are you doing?
Just this bed, actually, a bit of more function. This is a double bed.
Yeah.
And we have a spacer. This is a queen bed spacer. So we take this off.
So you can expand the size of the bed. Oh, shall I take this one out, yeah? Oh, it says on it double. It's a double spacer.
So when you're going out with somebody, start with the double bed. Your partner get pregnant, queen's bed. And then for the emergency, your partner left you.
Or you go back to single. A single bed and a sad bench.
Well, it's a bookshelf.
Bookshelf!
The traces of the construction process, whether in CNC'd plywood or in wonky brickwork, that are embedded throughout the house are persistent reminders of the importance of making and how through making we make sense of our world.
This building is not an exercise in the minimal. It doesn't seek to be an exemplar of perfection, but don't be seduced by the idea of the ultra-rational, because actually as creatures, that's the last thing we are. We are creatures motivated by memory, nostalgia, and the imagination. Things which great buildings like this can provide in spades.
House of Trace celebrates the memory of place and how we populate and use it. And our next house tackles a similar conundrum. How do you build a large contemporary 4-bedroom house in the heart of a conservation area, taking the best of the views and not upset the neighbours? Zach Monroe went to see how it's been done.
I'm wondering where this house is, because it isn't obvious. But I think I found it, and it's not at all what I was expecting.
This seems less like a house and more like a collection of metal sheds placed almost haphazardly among some ancient town walls. This carefully embedded house is made up of two parts. The main living room upstairs opens out onto a large terrace, while below are two of the bedrooms. The second part contains the kitchen diner upstairs with two more bedrooms, a workshop and the garage.
Hiya.
Good morning, Zach.
Sue,
Welcome.
thank you.
Sue and David commissioned this as a home to retire to.
Yeah, it is quite unusual.
Yeah, it's not what you would expect at all in a small market town in Cumbria.
No.
Unlike the more traditional architecture here, this home has large, carefully composed picture windows, bringing light deep into every room. It has a generous glazed atrium at its heart and plenty of open outdoor and indoor spaces. The RIBA judges were able to admire a design that did its utmost to get on with the neighbours.
Hiya.
Zach, David.
Nice to meet you.
Lovely to meet you. Thank you for welcoming me to your home.
Pleasure.
Look at this. It's all about the view, isn't it?
It sure is, yeah.
Yeah, the view's pretty special.
It's interesting, though, because it's a traditional Cumbrian town. You know, we're in a conservation area. Yet you chose to come here knowing that you wanted to do something like this.
Yeah.
And there's something unusual there, isn't there?
David and Sue lived in a traditional English country house for many years, but they were seduced by the expat lifestyle while based in Abu Dhabi.
We lived in a very modern, bright, airy house with lots of glass and very high ceilings, and it was such a contrast to our old mill house. And we found, to our surprise really, that we just loved living in a modern house with all the clean lines.
This sort of open, airy architecture is not thick on the ground around here, so David and Sue found this site with existing and very unpopular planning permission in place. They were determined to build something better and rather more modern, which of course could bring with it a new set of local objections.
I was certainly aware that it was a very different sort of house, and I didn't want that to be a problem with regards to us fitting in with the community.
In choosing an architect, David remembered someone he'd shared an office with back in the 1980s.
It was a residential property that I'd seen on the walls of their practice that never actually got built. That gave me the idea of picking up the phone to him. Our knowledge of the work and experience that he'd got, not necessarily residential, I thought that was an advantage because he was going to then be able to bring a fresh approach.
Rab Bennett's practice designs large-scale projects. This, their first private house, was a test to create a spacious home that wouldn't overpower the site. Rab knew he had to get the community on board.
The consultation process is two-way, and you have to go prepared to listen and, if necessary, adjust the scheme. They were relieved to find that their views were not blocked and that the site was enhanced rather than the opposite. I've always thought if you could start on the basis of using old materials in a modern way, it's got a chance of bedding in with its surroundings, and it could still look like a contemporary building of the 21st century without compromise. I think we've done that.
One of David and Sue's neighbours seems to be enjoying her new view.
When I look through either the hall window or the bathroom window, you can see very nice gardens, and it's a real pleasure. Now it's very neat and tidy, and I'm afraid I like tidy things. So it's very good, I think, especially having the stone.
Getting new architecture to fit a conservation area is not easy. It takes discipline and creativity, imagination paired with a love for traditional materials and techniques, which extends here right inside.
My dad was a joiner, and then I carried that forward into my own lifestyle now, which is making classical guitars. So again, I'm working with wood.
David's delight in fine craftsmanship is evident in every detail of their new home.
We could have had normal doors here, but it just wouldn't have given the quality feel that these doors lost into the panels achieve. putting the pivots in the right position such that the doors not only meet in the middle, but also provide continuity of the panel in the right line. And if you open it up again and watch this corner up here, that follows the same line as this line here. It's a very easy place in which to live. Very easy. And that's probably a real success of the architect.
I'm sure he's very proud, because that's exactly why you do things. Why you bother designing every detail, why this joinery is so important, is everything makes it better. What strikes you about this building is that it's born from an immense amount of consideration for the landscape, for the local architecture, and for the local people. And that brings a modesty to it. And it's a modesty that kind of belies its significance as a new building that belongs here and that is actually a home.
Just one more house to go before we find out which of them has made it onto the shortlist. And the next contender is a showcase for both beauty and sustainability. Our final experimental house takes us to a town in the heart of the Chiltern Hills, Amersham. 30 miles northwest of London, Amersham was outraged in 1931 by one of the first British modernist houses, high and over, built here in the heart of Metroland. The conservationist and poet Sir John Betjeman, no less, described it as scandalising all Buckinghamshire. Now, another new house is making waves. This place has impeccable green credentials. Not that it wears any of them on its sleeve. And this house is no white modernist wonder. It's more rooted in the traditions of arts and crafts suburbs, beautifully built from flint, cedar, Corten steel and zinc. There are 3 bedrooms in this 2-storey home, tucked beneath a long, eccentrically pitched roof which turns its face to the southern sky for solar gain. The ground floor is open plan, combining the kitchen, dining room and living room into one space. A study sits next to the entrance. On the first floor are 3 bedrooms and bathroom with a south-facing double-height light well over the living area. Outside is a garden studio and in between a courtyard sun trap. The architect, Heinz Richardson, built this house for himself and his family near where he grew up. Heinz, hello.
Hello. Welcome. How are you?
I'm really well, thank you. Much the better for being here. Thank you. Wow, it's a kind of, it plays a bit of a game, this building, because outside it's quite suburban. And you come in and this is kind of like, it's almost like a gallery. It gets a long view out to the wildflower meadow. It's neat.
This is wonderful because the meadow is a bit like an impressionist painting. But we wanted something that was much wilder, much more organic, and somewhere for our bees.
As well as the bees, this house is a quiet country retreat for Heinz, his wife, and occasionally their 2 grown-up children. The RIBA jury loved this house for its clever use of simple, sustainable design principles, the inspiring series of spaces, and the superb management of light. Along here you've got glass, nets, overhang, sliding screens. Lots of ways of controlling the light into the building.
The whole of that glass facade, it's a connection between inside and outside in the garden, but it's also something that can give you openness or privacy.
And it's no accident that the largest windows face south.
So the sun in the winter will come into this space and warm it.
Yeah.
But because of the overhang of the roof, in summer, it cuts out the sun, so we're excluding heat gain.
And if it does get too hot, there's a series of vents above the living room that can let the heat out. And there's more. This house is packed with green tech. a preheating ground air duct, rainwater harvesting, and automatic ventilation. But then Hines has been a pioneer in sustainable design.
In 2000, we built a house for the future.
The project attempted to imagine the standard of housing in the year 2050. It was fitted with pioneering sustainable technology. But this home is just as eco.
The whole sustainable agenda, it's now much more commonplace. You can actually embed it in a house from first principles, to use the sun, to use the orientation, to use the way that the building is constructed, to make your house more sustainable.
I'm not surprised to hear that Hines spent years studying the site before he started work.
We lived in the house that was on here when we bought the site for a couple of years. So I got to know how the light moved around and, you know, where the views were. I stood on the roof of the other house and worked out whether I could see.
Good architecture requires a lot of research and reflection. Every corner of this place, every shaft of light and view seems mature and considered.
So all these different views, almost 360-degree views.
I love this little cheated balconette.
Yeah, it's a little inset balcony. It just allows you to step out and, you know, enjoy the view and the fresh air.
And you get the garden.
At the cricket pitch next door, friends and neighbours seem to rather like one particular addition.
Absolutely wonderful to have built a clock on the house, yeah. When we need to get on with the game a little bit quicker, and it's really good to have the clock there, yeah.
Hines's house is parsimonious with the Earth's resources, but generous to its neighbours. Like so many houses designed by mature architects, it also reflects a lifetime's work and interests. And it reinvigorates the idea of life in Metroland.
You can think of a building as representative of a set of ideas, a load of different materials, a bunch of responses and approaches. And here, actually, also, a whole group of personal philosophies and beliefs. But they are just lists, of course. What makes a building work is how all of those come together and how they're organised. And how, as this place is, how they are beautifully stitched together. That's what makes a building better than the sum of its parts.
We've now seen all 5 experimental homes on the long list, all potential winners of the 2016 RIBA House of the Year award. South London has gained some undercover architecture in the carefully concealed Covert House. A Cumbrian market town has been politely introduced to 21st century architecture, carefully stitched into the place with stonework. In Amersham, Metroland has been gently stirred by a low-impact version of the suburban home. An ingenious Wallace and Gromit box of tricks has landed in the heart of Edinburgh's new town. And South East London has kept a clever note of its past in the very fabric of House of Trace.
So now we approach the great moment where we discover which of these extraordinary new houses has made it onto the shortlist.
I'm meeting with jury member Charlotte Skeen-Catling to find out which of these experimental houses has gone through.
So tell me about this first house that you've shortlisted.
This is the Covert House by Deborah Sant and David Hills. And this was a very interesting one for us because they've managed to create something that when you first arrive appears as a very tiny jewel-like object sitting within the middle of the site. Then it unfolds as you enter it. And then you've got a treatment of the external surfaces so that it sort of disappears.
Yeah,
and
it's a shrinking violet.
But it's not.
A lot of space,
it's very
a lot of volume.
tough. It's very robust and it's very rigorous.
Wow, that's amazing.
Hey, that's really good news.
I didn't even know it was being drawn down to the shortlist so soon.
So Charlotte, tell me what the second project is you've shortlisted.
This is the Murphy House in Edinburgh. It responds to its context in an incredibly complex way.
Quite a tough site because it was, you know, at the end of one terrace but perpendicular to another. It was overlooked a lot.
Absolutely.
And had to address the street as well and add somehow to the character of the new town.
Yeah, and it really does that.
This isn't a large building. I mean, he's squeezed 3 bedrooms onto a really small site.
Each time we opened another door, we couldn't believe, a garage, another bedroom, a third bedroom, terraces.
Yep.
It's an extraordinary thing. And we did wonder about the bedroom at the top. Reveals him sitting in his bathtub. I don't know what his neighbours.
Yeah,
it's the architect exposed.
It's cleaned me out of money, but who cares? It's money well spent. And no, I'm enjoying living here, so that's just the icing on the cake, really, so that's great.
Covert House and Murphy House. 2 fascinating complex homes that join Outhouse and Anstey Plum on the House of the Year shortlist. Over the series, we'll continue exploring the remaining houses in the competition before discovering who is the winner of this award. So, why hire an architect anyway? When you buy a car, you get excited, of course, by its acceleration, by whether it has leather seats and go-faster metallic paint. You don't worry about whether it's going to get you from A to B or whether the doors will fall off. The same applies when you're looking at a new house. Employ the right architect, and you get a super-engineered, sleek, jaw-dropping, timeless slice of beauty, whatever your budget.